Hi all and welcome back to my channel Learn with Priya Singh. So today in this video we will cover 12 basic concepts of SQL. So as watched earlier in my playlist, if you go, you will find the installation guide of how you can install MySQL. There is also information that helps you to know what is SQL, why SQL and why do we use it. There is a video about MySQL Workbench, how you can, what is the look and feel, what is a query editor, what is a navigator, the tool, the basic concepts that you should know about MySQL Workbench. So today we'll start with the coding. So the first important 6 concepts, the commands that are very important, and each person who wants to learn SQL, they should know about those concepts. So let's get started. I will take you through live examples. I will also show you how you can run your queries in the SQL Workbench in that query editor. Let me share. Okay, so this is my SQL Workbench. I will be using my SQL Workbench editor to write my queries. You can use any editor of your choice. Okay, so as mentioned, SQL basics, we will be going through first 6 of these important commands, which is select, from, where, group by, having, and order by. So on the left hand side, you can see I have got a couple of schemas. So this is the place where you will see all your databases. So students grade DB is the database. I will provide the files, the link to the CSV file plus the code uh, in the description box so that you can use the same files. So you have the database, then you have the tables. So we have 2 tables within this database. One is the student. If you want to look at the student, you have to click on this, and this is how the data looks like in the students table. And then we have a grades table, which looks like this with the information. We'll go through the information one by one. So this is our first table, students. Okay, and I will be providing you as mentioned, I will be providing you how you can create this table with the data. For example, this is how you can create this table students, what all columns you have, like you have the ID, the data type is int, it's a primary key, then another column is student name, it's a varchar. Then we have the grade level, which is of integer type. We have the GPA, which is decimal up to 1 decimal place. Which is donated by 1 here. Then you have the school lunch, whether they have received the school lunch or not. It's a varchar. Birthday, which is in date format, email. And here is other table, which is the student grades. And these are the parameters for that. And then how you can insert data. So insert into students, then you put the column names and then the values. So there is also a detailed video which I've created how you can create a database and create a table. So you can go through that video as well. I can provide the link to that video as well in the description box. Okay, so let's get started with the first basic concepts of SQL. So the first question is what we will be solving is view the table. Okay, so for that you have to use your select and from. So select star from students. Every query in SQL should end with a semicolon. If you are not putting a semicolon, it will throw an error. So whenever you select this, and this is the run where you have to run, and once you do it, you will be able to see the table. ID, student name, grade level, GPA, school lunch, birthday, and email. So what this query is actually doing? It is saying select. That means you have to select from students. Student is the table name. Star denotes, this asterisk signs denotes that you need each of the columns from the students table. So you are selecting all the columns from students. This is the simple meaning of this query. And this is the most important thing whenever you are querying any table from a database. This is the first thing that you will be doing. So select and from is used to choose the table and select which columns and from which table. Okay, so this is how you can run your first query. In case you don't want all the columns, you want only specific columns. For example, you need the student name. So you need the GPA. and you need whether a person got school lunch or not. Now, when you run, short form is if you press Control Enter, it will run the query. Or you press on this one, it will run your query. So now when instead of asterisk sign, I put these 3 columns, it has taken the 3 columns in my output, student name, GPA, and the school lunch. So this is how you can modify. If there are a lot of columns, you need only few columns from your database, it will help you get that. Now let's move to the second one. You need to show students who got school lunch. So the second command or the clause is a where clause, where you can filter your data. So for example, I will copy the same query from the top. Now the question is, or the query is, you have to get the data where the school lunch, where the students are getting school lunch. So simply you have already the respective column in your query. Now you will simply use the where clause, where to. So now where school lunch equal to yes, when I gave this query, it only picked up the students which are getting the school lunch. Here in the where clause, you can have more filters or conditions, like if you want to pick up students who have got higher GPA than 3.5 and Control Enter, you run this query. So you will get the students who have got higher GPA than 3.5. So where clause will help you to filter out the data. Select helps you to get the columns. From is the table name. So this is the usage of where clause. So this is the basic order. First, you have the select statement, then you have the from statement, then you have the where statement in your query. Let's go to the next one. Sort the students by GPA. So if I copy the same query, so order by is the clause that helps you to sort your data. Order by GPA. So if I run that, it has ordered by GPA. So basically, if you don't put whether you want the order to be sorted in ascending or descending, the default thing is ascending. So that is why the GPA is sorted in an ascending way. So if you want to sort this in descending, then you have to write this keyword DESC, descending. Now I do Control Enter. Now you have the highest GPA on the top, followed by 3.7 and then 3.6. So this is how you can use order by. So these are the 4 basic clauses. Select, from, where, order by, and it will always follow the same order while you are running your SQL queries. Okay, so the next 2 are group by and having a little bit of complex clauses, but please bear with me and we will sort this step by step together. Okay, so starting with group by, for this, what we have the question is, we have to show the average GPA for each grade level. For this, let me write a fresh query. So this is our data. So what we need, we just need the grade level and the GPA. So first question that I want to ask myself is what I want to represent in the rows. So I need all the grade levels and the average GPA for those grade levels. So let us first pull out only 2 columns that we need, grade level and the GPA. So we have the grade level and the GPA. So we need grade level in the rows followed by the average GPA. So we will use group by grade level. So we have group by grade level. Now, when we are grouping by grade level, we'll go back again to the top and we see which columns we need. We need the grade level and then we need the average GPA against each of the grades. Now, if we run our query, so we have got the grade levels followed by the average GPA for each of the grade level. We can make it more if we order by grade level. So now we have the grade levels in the rows and then followed by the average GPA sorted in an ascending order. Okay, so group by is a little bit on a tricky side, but just try to understand what you want to see in the rows, followed by some aggregation. And this aggregation cannot be just average. It can be count. You want to group by the grade levels, how many people have that grade. You can have min, max, any aggregation functions can be used in group by. Next we have is the having clause. So let's use the same query and I will help you understand the having clause as well. So having clause is also a filter, but it is always applied on group by function. So whenever you have an aggregated aggregation applied on your query, after that, if you want to filter, then only you will be using having. So there might be a question come that where is also a clause which is help to filter out, and having is also a clause which is filtering, but having it will always be used after group by when you are grouping something, and after that if you want to filter then use having. So let's see if we is having. So the question says show the grade levels with an average GPA below 3.3. So now you already have the average GPA for the grade levels. Now you want to say where average GPA is greater than 3.3. Now, if I run this query, you will get the grade level 9 has an average GPA greater than 3.3. Now, you see, there's one more thing. For example, average GPA. If in the column you see this is average GPA. In SQL, you can provide this as an alias name and you can keep it in the format your other columns are. And when here you can put it like this, average underscore GPA, so that these two columns match. And now if you run your query, you can see there is no change, only the column name is changed with the header that you have provided. So this is how you can use the 6 basic concepts of SQL. The first one is select, that helps you to choose the columns. Second one is from, which helps you to choose the tables. Where is, which helps you to filter the rows. Group by, group rows that are aggregated in some way. Having, if you have already filtered rows, then if you want to filter, then use the having clause. And then order by is the last one in the order if you want to sort the rows. Okay, the important big thing is to note that these clauses has to be in the same order as I have put it here. Now, some more SQL concepts. There are 3 more special keywords, which is limit, count, and distinct. To learn these keywords, I'll go back on top to help you understand what these do. So the first query that we wrote is select student name. Let me run this query again. So when I run this query, you have all the data which is shown in the all the rows you get as an output, whatever is there in that table. Now, if you want to limit or see only first 5 rows, so you will only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the help of limit, you can limit your output. For example, the use cases would be if you want to limit by the top one, so you can get that the person who has got the top rank, so you can limit by 1. So likewise, you can use the limit function to just see the top rows or limit to some extent, whatever number you want. The next one is the count. So if you just want to see the count, for example, let's go to the other query that we have, this one. So we ran a query where we were showing the students who got school lunch. Now, instead of, let me run this. So instead of these 3, if you just want the count of the students where the school lunch is yes and the GPA is greater than 3.5. So what you will do, you will use count star. So when you run this query, you will only get the count of the students where the school lunch is yes and GPA is greater than 3.5. Okay, so let's get started with the joins. So this is an intermediate topic. There is much more with the joins, which definitely I'll cover in the next videos. But this is an introduction to joins, how we can join the table. So till now, we were only working with one table, which was students. So let me bring students table for you all. Okay, so this is a students table you all are familiar with till now. Let me bring you the other table, that is students underscore grades. Now if I run this, so now if I run this, you have got the student underscore grades table, and it's a huge table. If you see, you have got the subjects, you have the semester ID, class ID, department ID, class name, student ID, and final grade. Now, in both of these tables, there is a common key. Here in the student grades table, you have got a student ID, whereas let's run this one. You have got ID in the first column in students. So let's join students table on this ID to students grades table on student ID. So what is the syntax to join? Let's do it. Star from students. So you are joining students table. Now left join is the keyword that you will use to join two tables. So you're joining students table to student underscore grades table on which keyword you are joining. So you are joining on students dot id equal to student underscore grades dot, let's see what was there, the name. So joining on student ID. So this is the column name on which you are joining because these two columns are common. Okay, now if you run this, you get the table. Now, if you look at the student table, you have got the ID, you have the student names, and you have got other information added based on the join, because you have taken the student ID and the ID from both the tables to join and get the other information. Now, this is whole lot of information. Let us only get few information. So we will get the required column. So from the students table, we will get the ID. From the students table only, we will get the student underscore name. From the grades table, we will take the, okay, so now we have selected ID from students, student name from students, class name from students grade table, and final grade from students grade table. And when I run this table, I got the output. We have got the ID, student name, class name, and final grade. So this is the way how we can join two tables to get the required information based on the primary key. So please ensure this is just a basic of join. There is much more to join, how you can improve your programs, how you can improve your queries, and there are other types of join as well, which we will cover in the next video. So thanks for watching this, and I hope you are familiar with the six big statements that are most commonly used, big six that we call them: select, from, where, group by, having, and order by, and the three special keywords which can help you to do a lot more in your query: limit, count, and distinct. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.